Happy Sunday, folks! I'm excited about this week's video because I actually had time to work on some stuff. I'm pretty stoked about it. So let's get right into it. So I believe last week I worked out some bugs. I was trying to get transparent image overlays working, and I thought I'd actually sorted out most of my blending issues, but turns out that I wasn't actually preserving transparency the right way. I was rendering so transparent objects after all of my opaque objects, and all my draw calls were in the right order. All that was hunky-dory, all the hard stuff. And then my shader wasn't actually setting alpha values properly, so when I had only one frame buffer like this, my transparent stuff was looking pretty great. And then when I had two frame buffers, like in this view, where I have a camera and then a sub camera, things were looking a little bit more funky fresh, if you will. So I fixed those bugs, and then once I did that, that paved the way for my next feature that I wanted, which was animations. So without further ado, let's turn them on. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I thought it was anyway. I hadn't tackled 2D animation before, so I had no idea how much of a pain it would be to get sprite sheets running and animating, but it only took a couple days. So that means that my current framework is at least somewhat extensible. So I was happy with that, and yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So you'll notice I have an explosion animating on the left here, and a little adventurer dude here swinging his sword on the right. So if you can sort of see it, there's some artifacts on this guy. That's because I have my texture mode set to repeat, so it's sort of sampling out of the texture range. But if I would set that to clamp, then that artifact at the edge there would go away. But the explosion looks pretty good, and I was a little concerned when I first got this working because I noticed there were a couple actual bugs happening too, but I noticed that the explosion was wobbling, and I was really befuddled and scared because I thought maybe I wasn't sampling my texture coordinates correctly, and that would be really weird if it was wobbling that much. But turns out that that is just how this animation looks. I guess it gives it a bit more punch that it's shaking. So yeah, this guy looks pretty good, and generally I'm pretty happy with the way they're working. So next step for me, I keep adding different features, and they're getting more and more obscure every time I add something. Since if I'm making a 3D game, then why do I even need sprite animations? Although I'm sure a lot of 3D games use 2D animations and textures for different effects, so I'm sure that'll be useful. But my point being, it's about time for me to get into more of the game concept and game design phase of things, because I got to start making an actual game sooner or later, because if I just keep adding features to my engine, I will never see the end of it. So yeah, I think that's about all I have to show for this week. Hopefully you guys like what you see, and yeah, tune in next time.